The Supreme Court will not hear a challenge to state bans on assault weapons. In a split decision today, the court turned down a case against a decade-old Maryland law. At issue is whether the AR-15 and similar weapons are protected by the Second Amendment. Justices Alito and Gorsuch said that they would have taken the case. Justice Clarence Thomas wrote separately to say the law likely runs afoul of the Second Amendment. Justice Brett Kavanaugh agreed with the decision to pass on the case now, but indicated that he is skeptical such bans are constitutional and that he expects the court will address the issue in the next term or two.
Let's welcome our political panel, Republican strategist and host of 13-Minute News, and that is Bobby Eberle, along with former Deputy Press Secretary for the DNC, Jose Aristo-Munoz. Bobby, I guess since we just talked about that gun story, interesting they didn't take up the case. But it sounds like they're giving us a heads up that they know there's a serious case they need to decide as far as the AR-15s are concerned. Are you reading anything into that yourself?
Well, I mean, it's going to come to a head, and I wish they would address this sooner rather than later. I mean, you're talking about a semi-automatic rifle.
They may want the right case, right? I mean, it's possible that they want the one that they can get the right issues that they can deal with and ultimately address those and settle some of the questions that are out there.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope so, because, I mean, these states that are banning this weapon, again, you've got semi-automatic pistols, you've got semi-automatic rifles. Yes, it's powerful, but it is not a weapon of war, and I have no idea what an assault weapon even is, that they always try to define it as that. We're going to lump it in this assault weapons category. So I hope the right case does come up soon so we can address this. We have our Second Amendment right. This clearly falls into it, the semi-automatic rifle. It's not a weapon of war, and it's not spraying, you know, automatically all these rounds, as some of these Democrats who've never shot a gun like to say. And I hope the Supreme Court takes up the right case and settles this once and for all, because this is a weapon that is so popular. It is I own one, and a lot of my friends do too. And it is a great weapon, and there's no reason that it should be banned.
Jose, the AR-15 is the most popular gun in America. It's the top-selling gun. And, you know, conservatives are disappointed at this today. There's clear precedent for the Supreme Court to have taken up this case and put an end to this issue. But, you know, the liberals are excited in the fact that, you know, Maryland's law was upheld, and they think that they, you know, have a chance at banning the AR-15 completely through the courts. What is your take?
Yeah, look, it's a complicated issue, and I respect the Second Amendment. I do think it's a popular weapon. It's a very popular weapon for mass shooters across the country that kill our children in school. So, you know, I think it's something that the Supreme Court will definitely take up. I respect the Supreme Court, whatever decision they make, good or bad, negative or positive, we ought to respect it. I think Republicans, not all of them, but a lot of Republicans, when the Supreme Court rules against them, and this is a conservative court, by the way, they say, oh, they're not being courageous, they're not being this and that, but when they rule in their favor, they're amazing people. So I think we should respect the Supreme Court. I do think they should take up the issue. It is an American issue, and it's something that all Americans care about. I personally believe that it should be banned. I think if we can ban grenades and bazookas, we can ban the AR-15. Again, it's the weapon that most mass shooters are using in our country today. And the Second Amendment, when it was written back in the day, this sort of weapons were not around, right? So I think we ought to take that into account as well.
Bobby, are you in Colorado? I can't remember.
I'm over in Texas, just outside of Houston.
Oh, okay. Then I wanted to ask you how people are feeling in Texas, in the community near you, as far as how things are going. Because you get a lot of mixed signals from inside the Beltway, which is where we are. And you get a feeling that there are those very happy with what the president's doing and others not so happy. You see these town halls that people are making. A lot of them seem to be AstroTurf. They seem to be Democrats, which they have every right to go, but they're stirring things up, making it look like everybody's upset. How are you reading people right now?
I'll give you a couple of examples. One, a Rasmussen poll just came out that showed, you know, for the first time, in memory, a majority of Americans feel like the country is on the right track. So they are liking what President Trump is doing. In my local area, I'm the county chairman for our Republican Party down here. The people feel like we are on the right track and we are doing good things. The Democrats, though, are always ready. They are always ready for the next race, the next campaign. They scored a few victories locally in school board races. I think that's just because November was so good for us. We decided to go on with our lives. You know, we're not looking for that next election. But when you're talking about inflation, when you're talking about the border, which we feel down here in Texas immensely, in the economy growing, and Trump's stance on foreign policy and his presence as a world leader, I think people agree, and that's why you're seeing it in that Rasmussen poll that we're on the right track.
Jose, only a minute here, but what do you think the #1 issue will be that Democrats will campaign on for the midterms? Because the midterms are right around the corner. What is going to be their campaign message?
Look, it's a great question. I think the Democrats and the Democratic Party need to go do a reset. We lost the election. We lost by a lot. So I think we got to make sure that we listen to the American people. The American people want Republicans and Democrats to work together. I think that one of those issues can be healthcare. We see what Robert F. Kennedy is doing with making America healthy again, and he's bringing not political actors into the fray. Chad Willis from Iowa Plus, you got the CEO of Shake Shack and others. So I think that's an issue that we can come together as a country. I would love to see immigration reform come through, but I don't think we're there yet. I think we got to fix, obviously, the border, and I agree with Republicans on that. And after that, I think we should look for ways to legalize the good people and deport the bad ones.
All right, Bobby Eberle, Jose Aristimuño, thank you both for stopping by.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.